Lorcana is approaching its 3rd anniversary and its 2nd full year with a rotating format. About a year ago, I had planned on making this video, but I got distracted by other things and there was just a lot going on in the game. But now I think it's actually a good time to talk about formats in Lorcana, as we now have multiple officially supported ones and a few unofficial ones as well. So today we're going to talk about the official formats of Lorcana, some unofficial ones, and whether or not Ravensburger could create more officially supported ones in the future. But before we get into it, I want to remind everyone to please like this video and subscribe to the Sorcerer's Hat for more Disney Lorcana content. I post brand new videos every Friday. All right, let's dive in. First things first, for the people who are maybe new to card games and don't know what a format is, let's break it down. A format is essentially a mode of play or a version of the game, if you'd like. Some formats might only use cards from specific sets or have their own dedicated ban list, or not at all. Some involve opening new product, and some require you to bring your own deck. There might also be different rules and deck building restrictions to try and spice it up or make it more interesting. The ultimate goal of many formats is to keep playing the same game you're already playing, but in a new or refreshing way. If you've been grinding Core Constructed for a few months getting ready for a DLC or set champs, it can be fun to do a few sealed events or try out some Infinity, just to mix it up and play with cards you don't normally get a chance to. As of the recording of this video, Ravensburger officially supports and promotes 5 different formats for Lorcana. Well, 6, I guess if you count Super Sealed, but it hasn't really been supported for a long time, and to my knowledge was only really played at Worlds and as a side event at some DLCs. I don't really know how much more support it'll actually get, so we'll just have to wait and see. And then, well, I guess you could count triples as a format because that has been played at some DLCs and side events as well, so that's 7, but we're getting way too in the weeds here, and we could probably find some other case examples of this, and this video is already long enough, so we're just going to stick with the 5 main ones for now. The first of these is Core Constructed, the most mainstream way to play the game. The Core Constructed card pool encompasses all of the cards released this year and the year prior, with a rotation happening every August. This year, when set 13, Attack of the Vine, is released, we will see another set rotation, knocking sets 5 through 8 out of legal play. The goal of this is to avoid power creep, change up the meta, and keep the game fresh for entrenched players, while, also incentivizing you to buy more cards, obviously. The second format Ravensburger supports is called Infinity, which encompasses every card ever printed for the game. Infinity is the only official format with a ban list. As of the recording of this video, it's only 1 card, and that's Hiram Flaversham. Other than that, you can play any other card in your deck, provided you stick to the normal deck building restrictions. Infinity is getting some high-profile DLC events coming up soon, and there are some smaller events planned for the future, whether officially or at the local level. Infinity can be a lot of fun and a good change of pace from Core Constructed because the power level is so obscenely high. Everyone can do some very broken things, and while yes, this can lead to some very swingy or non-games, it also leads to a lot of crazy games that just make the game really, really fun. And also, because the card pool is so large, it leads to a lot of player expression with their deck building. The third officially supported format is Pack Rush, which is probably the most accessible format in the entire game. All you need to play are 2 unopened booster packs for each player. Both players then open them, shuffle the cards, and then play a game of Lorcana with just those cards. You can look at the cards beforehand if you want or not, and just keep everything a mystery. Personally, I like to keep it a mystery, so I am surprised when I start playing. It also makes every draw feel exciting. Overall, I don't play Pack Rush very much, but it is pretty fun if you're just killing time between rounds, or you're at a DLC event, or you want to play with your cards while opening them. For more information on Pack Rush, I did a whole video about it when my channel was young, so go check it out. And finally, I'm going to lump the last 2 together because while they are different in one core aspect, they sort of occupy the same space. The last 2 formats officially supported by Ravensburger are Sealed and Draft. Draft is a format where each player gets an amount of booster packs. They then open 1 at a time, taking 1 card from the pack and then passing all of the cards to the next player. You continue this until you have opened all the packs and grabbed all the cards from the pool. You then play a number of games with these smaller 40 card decks. Sealed is similar, but instead of passing cards to the next player, each player is given 6 booster packs to open on their own. They then build a 40 card deck with those cards and play a few rounds with what they built. Up until recently, Draft wasn't really a format that people were super interested in playing unless a set was brand new. However, with the release of Winterspell, Ravensburger has changed the way pack distribution works, making it more balanced around Sealed and Draft, and honestly, it worked out. I only got to play one Winterspell Sealed event, but it was a lot of fun and actually felt really good. Hopefully more people get interested in Sealed and Draft as a game mode, because I think with the changes they made, it actually feels like a viable game mode now, and not just a way to celebrate the launch of a new set. So that's it for all the official formats, but there are some fan-made ones that I'll briefly mention here because I think they're neat and you should try them out if you're looking for a nice change of pace. The first one is Lorcana, or Street Rat, which is the name I vastly prefer. The idea is that your deck can only be built using common and uncommon cards, no rares or above. Not only does it make decks really cheap to purchase, but it also forces you to be really creative with what you have access to. It's a fun time for anyone wanting to experiment with different deck building restrictions and to just have some fun doing really weird and wacky things, and of course, all on a budget. Another fan-created format is Heroic, created by the folks over at the Inkcast. Heroic is a multiplayer 100-card singleton format where you can only have one copy of any given card in your deck. You also have a zone called the Storyboard, where you have one legendary character of your choosing, an ally, and then a song. You can only include ink colors in your deck that match the cards in your storyboard. There's more to it than that, and the format also has its own ban list and a lot of video content on YouTube for you to check out. I've linked to their official website in the description of this video if you want to check it out. And if any creators out there ever want to have me on to play a Heroic match, I've never actually got a chance to try it, so hit me up. And finally, this last one doesn't really have a specific name attached to it, but I've heard things like feature, franchise, or movie format. The basic idea is that you can only include cards in your deck that conform to a specific movie or franchise. So if you were to build a Frozen deck, you could only include cards that are Frozen related. This format has never got any kind of official support, but it has been played at a local level and people seem to really enjoy it. It's one that improves with every set, not only because older franchises get more cards, but also we're introduced to new franchises, so it opens up completely new decks almost every single set. It's a format that I'm going to be trying out very soon, as the card pool has gotten big enough to allow for a lot more deck diversity as opposed to when the game first launched. I could go on naming unofficial formats, but we'd probably be here all day. Now let's ask the question, are there more official formats on the way? As of right now, my gut says that there probably aren't. At the moment, there are already a lot of officially supported formats, and while yeah, we mainly only play 2 of them, that being Core and Infinity, I think there's a good chance Sealed and Draft will grow in popularity as more people play the upgraded Sealed formats. I think it would also grow in popularity a lot more if Ravensburger did some sort of DLC event, a large DLC event, doing either Sealed or Draft. I think that would be really interesting and cool. Starting in Wilds Unknown, we're also going to start getting these cool pre-release boxes at your LGS, so that might also help bump up the format's popularity. On top of that, you have to consider that for every format that they add to the game, they have to start balancing around them to an extent. For example, if you were going to print a card that would be alright in Core Constructed, but absolutely break a deck in Infinity, the designers have to kind of keep that in mind. You could argue that with Core being the main focus that they don't really design around Infinity like that, and that could be true, but I don't necessarily think so. I believe that Infinity probably is in the back of the designer and playtesters' minds quite often, but probably isn't their primary concern. I would love to talk to one of the game developers though at some point and discuss their design ethos. I think that would be a really interesting conversation and also just would be cool. So if any Ravensburger people are actually watching this video, hit me up. I would love to talk to you. All right, so now we've got 2 formats essentially, but they are also now designing sets around the idea that you'll be drafting them as well. So that's a whole new wrinkle for them to consider. But now imagine they come out tomorrow and say, we're officially going to support franchise format. Would that make franchise or movie format, whatever we're calling it, better? Would that improve the overall Disney Lorcana game experience? I'd argue that it actually would not be great. In a lot of ways, the unofficial formats are fun and refreshing because they allow for more outside-the-box thinking and really no consideration of a meta. I think the minute you make it official and you put prize support behind something like that, you're going to create testing environments and a meta around it that's going to sort of remove what the core idea behind the format even is, which is just to build a deck around your favorite Disney movies, which I would honestly argue is Lorcana in its most pure and lighthearted form, and because of that, I think it should just stay that way. So to wrap it up, I think we're kind of capped out at the moment on formats that should be officially supported. A lot of them fundamentally feel the way they do because they are in the hands of the fans, and there isn't a competitive sort of air about them like other formats. They are genuinely about expressing yourself and having fun, and I think they should sort of remain that way. Personally, I think a card game can have too many formats. But what do you think? Would you rather Ravensburger officially supported more formats, or should they just leave the game as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe to the Sorcerer's Hat for more Lorcana videos. I post a new one every single Friday. I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye. Love you.